The old toolbox sat on my kitchen table, covered in decades of garage dust. My inheritance from Dad's machine shop, while my brother Marcus got the family business, Anderson Precision Manufacturing. At least he thought of you, my sister Rachel said, trying to be kind. Even if it's just old tools. I ran my fingers over the rusted metal latches. Dad had spent more time with this toolbox than with his children, always tinkering late into the night in his workshop. Always working on something special, Mom used to say. Come on, Emma. Rachel checked her watch. Marcus's celebration dinner starts in an hour. Mom will kill us if we're late. I waved her off. Go ahead. I need a minute. After she left, I finally opened the toolbox. The familiar smell of machine oil and metal brought back memories of watching Dad work, before Marcus declared the shop no place for girls. The tools were arranged meticulously, each in its designated spot. But something felt off about the bottom of the box. It seemed shallow. Pressing around the edges, I found a hidden catch. The false bottom popped up, revealing a leather portfolio and a handwritten note. Emma, you were always the one who understood. Not just how things work but why they work. Marcus sees machines as money. You see them as possibilities. In this portfolio are my life's real work. Patents, designs, innovations I never showed the company. They're yours now. Use them wisely. Dad. My hands shook as I opened the portfolio. Inside were dozens of detailed technical drawings, prototype designs, and, most importantly, filed patents for revolutionary manufacturing processes. Dad's secret projects, hidden from the company he thought had lost its innovative spirit. My phone buzzed. Mom, where are you? Marcus is about to announce the company's 5-year expansion plan. I looked at the patents again. According to the documentation, they were filed under Dad's personal name, not the company's. And he'd left them to me. The restaurant was packed with family, friends, and business associates when I arrived. Marcus stood at the front, champagne in hand, looking every bit the successful CEO in his expensive suit. Anderson Precision Manufacturing has been a family legacy for 3 generations, he began. And now, as we embark on our most ambitious expansion. I tuned him out, focusing instead on the technical drawings in my bag. One in particular caught my eye, a revolutionary automated precision cutting system. According to the patent dates, it was still valid and completely unused. Emma, Mom hissed. At least pretend to pay attention to your brother's moment. I smiled. Oh, I'm just thinking about the future. The toolbox. She patted my hand. Honey, I know it's not much, but it's everything, Mom. Dad made sure of that. 3 months later, I sat in my newly rented office space, meeting with patent lawyers. The toolbox sat proudly on my desk, a reminder of where it all started. These patents are gold, my lawyer confirmed. Your father was a genius. This automated system alone could revolutionize precision manufacturing. I know. I pulled out my business plan. That's why I'm starting my own company. Harper Innovation Systems. Your brother's company will fight this. Let them try. Dad left these to me personally. All the paperwork is clear. As if on cue, my phone rang. Marcus's number. I let it go to voicemail, smiling as I remembered his words at the inheritance reading. Here's Dad's old tools, sis. Maybe you can start a hobby workshop or something. The next call was from Anderson Precision's head of R&D. Ms. Harper, we've noticed some interesting patent filings under your name. Actually, I corrected, they're under my father's name. And they're exactly where he wanted them to be. Let Marcus have his expansion plans. I had something better, Dad's real legacy and the knowledge to use it. Should I set up the meeting with potential investors? My lawyer asked. Yes. I touched the toolbox gently. It's time to show everyone what Dad's old tools can really do. The Anderson Precision Manufacturing boardroom fell silent as my presentation concluded. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I could see Marcus pacing in his office across the hall, phone pressed to his ear. To summarize, I clicked to the final slide. Harper Innovation Systems will begin production next month, using these patented processes to deliver precision parts at half your current costs. This is absurd, Gerald Thompson, the company's longtime CFO, sputtered. These are clearly company patents. Actually, my lawyer interrupted, sliding documents across the table. They were filed under Robert Harper's personal name with no company resources, and were legally transferred to Emma Harper upon his death. But Robert was our head of innovation. Gerald protested. And my father, I smiled, who clearly knew exactly what he was doing when he hid these designs in that toolbox. The boardroom doors burst open as Marcus stormed in, his perfect CO composure cracking. This is a joke, right? Some petty revenge because Dad left you his old tools. I pulled the toolbox from my briefcase. I brought it to every meeting now just for moments like this. You mean this toolbox? The one you laughed at? Why don't we open it together, brother? I'd love to show you what Dad actually left me. Ms. Harper, one of the younger board members, leaned forward. These automation processes, they're years ahead of anything on the market. I know. Dad was always working late in his shop, remember? Always working on something special, Mom would say. I turned to Marcus. But you wouldn't know about that, would you? You were too busy learning golf swings and corporate politics to spend time in a dirty workshop. Marcus's face reddened. I was learning to run a business dash. No, you were learning to maintain one. Dad knew the difference. I stood up, gathering my materials. Our first contracts are already signed. Major manufacturers who've been waiting years for innovation like this. You can't do this to us, Gerald said. To your own family's company. Family. I laughed. When I wanted to work in R&D after college, Marcus here said the shop floor was no place for girls. When I suggested modernizing our processes, the board said I didn't understand tradition. Well, guess what? Dad understood tradition and innovation. Just then Marcus's assistant rushed in. Sir, Chin Manufacturing is on the line. They're canceling their contract. Something about a new supplier with superior technology. I checked my watch. Right on schedule. That would be Harper Innovation's first major client. Turns out they prefer actual innovation over family names. Wait, Marcus held up his hands. We can work something out. A partnership maybe? These are family patents dash. No brother. These are my patents now. Left to me by a father who knew exactly what he was doing. I walked to the door then turned back. Oh, and Marcus, remember last Christmas when you said I should start a hobby workshop with Dad's old tools? He nodded mutely. Well, my hobby workshop just cost you your biggest client. Imagine what I'll do with the rest of Dad's secrets. Later that evening, as I sat in my office reviewing contracts, Mom called. Emma, honey, is it true? All those nights your father spent in his workshop. He was building my future, Mom. He just needed someone who understood why, not just how. Marcus is furious. Says you've betrayed the family legacy. No, I touched the toolbox on my desk. I'm building a new legacy. The one Dad always knew was possible. My phone buzzed with a text from Rachel. OMG, Marcus just threw a fit in the country club parking lot. Called Dad a treacherous old man for hiding those patents. I smiled, opening the toolbox to reveal one more hidden compartment I hadn't shown anyone yet. Inside was another set of designs, even more revolutionary than the first. Dad's last project, I whispered. The one he finished just before he died. Sometimes the best inheritance isn't what's handed to you, it's what's hidden away, waiting for the right person to find it. 6 months after the boardroom showdown, I stood in Harper Innovation's factory, watching our first production line hum with perfect precision. Dad's automated systems weren't just efficient, they were revolutionary. Each machine incorporated innovations he'd spent decades perfecting in secret. Ms. Harper. My assistant Sarah hurried over. Anderson Precision's stock dropped another 15% this morning. And, your brother's here. I checked the security feed. Marcus paced the lobby, his designer suit wrinkled, his typical CEO confidence nowhere to be seen. How many times has he tried to get in this week? This is visit number 4. He keeps saying he has a family proposal. I smiled, touching the toolbox that now sat in a glass case on my office wall. Send him up. It's time he saw what Dad's old tools really built. Marcus's jaw dropped as he entered my office. Through the glass walls he had a perfect view of our production floor, spotless, automated, and running at 3 times the speed of Anderson Precision's traditional methods. Like what you see? I asked. It's amazing what can happen when you actually understand the technology instead of just managing it. Emma, please. He sank into a chair. We're losing contracts every day. Chin Manufacturing was just the beginning. Now Parker Industries is threatening to switch to you, and they're our oldest client. They're switching because we deliver better parts at lower costs. Isn't that what business is about, brother? The board is talking about removing me as CEO. His voice cracked. 20 years of Anderson family leadership ended because of Dad's old toolbox? I opened the glass case, lifting out the battered box. Want to see what else is inside? There's still one compartment you don't know about. His eyes widened. There's more. Dad's last project. The one he finished just before he died. He makes everything else look obsolete. I paused. But you're not here about innovation, are you? You're here to save your job. I'm here to propose a merger. He pulled out a folder. Anderson Precision would acquire Harper Innovation dash. Stop. I held up my hand. Let me guess, you'd be CEO of the combined company? It makes sense. We could merge the old and new dash. Like you merged old and new when you rejected every modernization proposal I made? When you told me to stick to office work, because the shop floor was too technical for me? Before he could respond, Sarah rushed in. Ms. Harper, the Mitchell contract is ready. And your mother's here too. Mom stood in the doorway looking uncertain. I hope I'm not interrupting. Perfect timing, actually. I gestured to the production floor. Want to see what your husband really built all those nights in his workshop? Leading them through the factory, I explained each innovation. The precision cutting systems, the automated quality control, the energy-efficient processes that cut costs by 60%. Robert designed all this? Mom whispered, touching one of the machines. My God, he really was working on something special. He was building a future, I said. One that valued innovation over tradition, understanding over management. Emma, Marcus tried one last time, please. Anderson Precision is your family legacy too. No. I turned to face him. Anderson Precision was your inheritance. The safe, traditional company. This, I gestured around us, this is my inheritance. The innovation, the revolution, the future. But the board meeting's tomorrow, isn't it? When they vote on your leadership. He nodded miserably. Well, here's something to tell them. I pulled out my tablet showing our latest financials. Harper Innovation just signed contracts with 3 major aerospace companies. Contracts that used to be yours. Mom touched my arm. Emma, honey, isn't there some way to work together? Actually, there is. I turned to Marcus. Step down as CEO. Let someone who understands technology lead Anderson Precision. Then maybe, we can talk about a technology licensing agreement. Step down. He looked stunned. But I'm an Anderson. And I'm a Harper. I smiled. Dad made sure of that when he left me these old tools. Later that night, as the factory hummed below, I opened the final compartment in Dad's toolbox. Inside was one last note. Emma, by now you've shown them what real innovation looks like. Remember, leadership isn't about names or titles. It's about understanding the heart of what you're building. They'll try to buy you out, merge you, and make you small again. Don't let them. You're not just my daughter. You're my successor in the only way that matters. Dad, sometimes the smallest inheritance carries the biggest revolution, especially when it comes in a rusty old toolbox. The morning after Anderson Precision's board meeting, every industry news site carried the same headline. Anderson family loses control after 75 years, tech expert named new CEO. I sipped my coffee in my office, watching the sunrise reflect off our factory's solar panels, another of Dad's hidden innovations. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since the news broke. Ms. Harper. Sarah appeared at my door. Your sister Rachel's here. And, you might want to see this. She handed me her tablet showing security footage of the Anderson Precision parking lot. Marcus was being escorted out, carrying a cardboard box of personal items. His perfect suit was rumpled, his carefully styled hair a mess. Where is he going? I asked Rachel as she walked in. Mom's house, probably. He can't face his country club friends. She sat down, looking around my office with new eyes. You know, I always wondered why Dad spent so much time in that workshop. Now I understand, he was building all this. Not just building, I corrected, touching the toolbox. Planning. Every patent, every innovation, Every hidden compartment. It was all deliberate. Ms. Harper. Sarah interrupted again. The new CEO of Anderson Precision is requesting a meeting. Dr. Helen Chin. I smiled. Helen Chin, a brilliant engineer who tried to modernize Anderson Precision years ago, only to be shut down by Marcus and his traditional methods. Schedule it for tomorrow. And Sarah? Bring Dad's original designs for the quantum measurement system. It's time they saw what real innovation looks like. Rachel picked up a part from my desk. A precision component that looked deceptively simple. This little thing is what brought down Marcus? No, I said. His own arrogance brought him down. This just proved him wrong. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Marcus is crying in my kitchen. Says you destroyed his life. I typed back. No, Dad's innovations destroyed his illusion. There's a difference. Just then my factory manager rushed in. Ms. Harper. The quantum measurement system. It worked. Better than projected. The aerospace clients want to double their orders. Rachel's eyes widened. Quantum measurement. That's what Dad was working on. Part of it. I opened the final compartment of the toolbox, pulling out the designs I hadn't shown anyone yet. This is his real masterpiece. A complete reimagining of precision manufacturing. But why didn't he patent this one? He did. Look at the filing date. Rachel gasped. 3 days before he died. And 1 day after he left me the toolbox. I spread the designs across my desk. He knew Marcus would never understand these innovations. Knew the board would reject them as too radical. So he left them to the daughter who spent her summers learning metallurgy instead of golf? He left them to the person who understood why innovation matters more than tradition. My phone buzzed again, an email from Dr. Chin. Ready to discuss collaboration? Your father's designs could revolutionize both our companies. Before I could respond, Sarah appeared once more. Ms. Harper? The Anderson family lawyer is here. Says there's an issue with the will. I laughed. Let me guess. Marcus found some clause about family assets? Actually, the lawyer said, walking in, it's about the company name. Your father left one final document with me, to be opened only if Anderson Precision ever changed leadership. He handed me an envelope. Inside was a single page, a legal transfer of the name Anderson to my company.